and welcome to our fourth special Christmas episode, mini episode of the Religious Rejects podcast. We are giving you a sort of Advent calendar of sorts of Christmas issues, and today's going to be a little bit different. Today we're going to get a little bit more personal and kind of just talk about our own experiences with Christmas and traditions in our families that we grew up with. So welcome, and we're glad you're here. So, Christine, what was Christmas like for you when you were growing up?
Okay, so my life has to, is defined by a divorce. So there's pre-divorce Christmas and there's post-divorce Christmas.
And how old were you when the divorce happened?
9.
Oof, yeah. Okay.
My best Christmas that I remember was in Detroit. I was an only child, and, only children can be a bit spoiled. And I remember I wanted the Barbie townhouse.
Oh,
the big one with the elevator.
Wow.
And it had like 3
Yeah.
I loved that thing. So
you got it.
I got it. Yeah.
Wow.
So I had no idea of like what Christmas was outside of this guy Santa comes, breaks into your house, leaves gifts, already ready to go. So that was my only idea of what Christmas was.
Your dad is the one who became a Christian later,
Yes.
and that was after
That
the
was
divorce.
post-divorce.
Okay,
Yes.
got it. Okay,
Because my mother was an atheist.
got it.
And so we didn't do anything religious. It was all it was very British. My grandmother, she was Canadian, but she had the British background. So we had Yorkshire pudding, we had roast beef, we had all of that.
Oh, wow.
Waldorf salad. It was a big old spread, and
wow.
yeah, so they were fun. She'd always save me the olives out of her martinis, and I am a martini drinker to this day. Thanks, Grandma. So then,
that's great.
So then post-divorce, now I have 2 older stepbrothers, and so then you get into the whole, like, everybody gets the same thing kind of a thing. And so the big one I remember is one year we all got radios, like cassette tape clock radios.
Oh.
And that was very cool.
Yeah.
But all 3 of us got them.
Okay. Here's another question I have, though, quick. Did you celebrate on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Again, I don't remember pre-divorce. Now, post-divorce, I would be somewhere else.
Oh, every other year kind of thing?
So pre-divorce, we had a huge, huge Christmas party at my cousin's house. I'm talking like there were so many people because it was my Finnish side of the family.
Okay.
And my Finnish grandmother had 16 siblings.
Wow.
Yeah, so whatever siblings made it to adulthood and then had children and were still in the area because half of them went to California, half of them stayed in Michigan. So that part of the Detroit Finnish side were all get together.
Wow.
And of course, some of them were Apostolic Lutheran, and so there were a ton of kids.
Wow.
They just kept cranking them out. So there was a ton of people there.
Okay.
And boys would play hockey in the basement. Girls would sit and watch. My cousin or uncle would dress up as Santa Claus, and those were fun. Because
Cool.
Being an only child, that's when you really got to realize, like, oh wow, these are all my cousins, all of them. That was kind of neat. But then, of course, after post-divorce, then I would go to whatever relative I wasn't living with for Christmas. So it all changed.
Yeah. So Christmas was just kind of all over the place.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They didn't really have any big traditions back in the day.
Yeah. I've said before, I grew up Lutheran. My family is Northern European background. So Swedish and Danish on one side of the family, the other side of the family, pretty much all Norwegian. And so in our household, Christmas Eve was the big day that was celebrated. In our family, we were into music and all kinds of stuff. So we were always in the handbell choirs and in the choirs and all that kind of stuff. So there were always like Christmas concerts that we had to be at and all that stuff. And usually we were involved in the music for like the Christmas Eve services. So this was another thing that was funny in our family because we had a lot of cultural memories of the immigrants that my family came from. So my dad, being Norwegian, he loved to have Lutefisk. Now, if anyone knows what Lutefisk is, it's the consistency of Jell-O. It is dried cod. I don't believe Norwegians actually eat lutefisk today. It's like it used to be a way to preserve fish, you know? But it was like one of these cultural memories that like kind of calcified in the American communities. So like in Minnesota, where I was from, like you'd get a lutefisk and lefse dinner where you could go and everybody could like, enjoy this amazing Norwegian pastime, which was really kind of gross. And then the way that you eat lutefisk is that you douse it in melted butter. Okay. So just, heart attack waiting to happen right there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Dad would always make lutefisk and Mom hated lutefisk. So she didn't have to eat it, but us kids had to because we were the kids and we were part Norwegian, I guess then, because anyway, so Mom would make Swedish meatballs and put those in the oven before we had to go to church for the Christmas Eve services. And Dad would microwave the lutefisk when we got home, which is so funny because it's like even worse to think about. It's so gross. I'm just really selling lutefisk, aren't I?
Happy Christmas.
So yeah, I know. It's like the craziest thing. But I remember feeling jealous of Mom because she didn't actually have to eat lutefisk. Anyways, we would have lutefisk, we'd have Swedish meatballs. Now, a funny story is that after my mom died and we were going through all the stuff from their house and everything, her Swedish meatball recipe was actually Italian Parmesan meatballs. So they weren't even Swedish meatballs. I just think that's really funny. But anyway, they were really good meatballs, but not Swedish meatballs. So we would also make lefse, which is a Norwegian flatbread, but it's made from potatoes and it's thinner than like a tortilla or something like that. But we would always make that like around Thanksgiving and then we'd have that throughout the Christmas season. Again, one of these cultural memories from Norway that survived in the American Norwegian descendants. So we did all that kind of stuff. And in my household, Santa Claus, we were not allowed to talk about Santa Claus, not allowed to talk, but my parents were very clear that Santa was not real.
Okay. Yeah.
The point to Christmas was Jesus, not Santa. So you like the whole Santa thing, like we never had that, Santa's coming and bringing you gifts, nothing. We didn't, our household, that was not allowed because the whole point to Christmas was Jesus being born, not Santa bringing us gifts.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you have to read the narratives every Christmas?
No.
Or because you went to Mass?
We would have the early service, come home, eat dinner, and then go back for the late service or whatever and sing in the choir, play in the handbook choir, or whatever we were in at that time. So no Santa was allowed in our household.
Yeah. Whereas in my household, we read 'Twas the Night Before Christmas every year. Every year.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely loved it.
Yeah. No, I don't remember that we did that.
I mean, I loved it so much that my imagination really took off with me and I would think I would see him.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was like, he's there! He's right there! I would get all excited.
Did you leave cookies and milk out for Santa or anything like that or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I do remember doing that.
Were there bites out of the cookies or were they gone in the morning?
No. And I didn't do it with my mother. She seemed to not like mornings. So my dad, though, I feel like when I was with my dad, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. But yeah. I don't know. She would barely make it out.
Oh. And I feel her today. Because you're not a morning person, no? I'm not a morning person either, but that's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you have any other foods that were like a Christmas thing? So you had, with your one family, it was like British. Did you have Finnish food with your Finnish side of your family?
I didn't even know we were Finnish, to be honest with you. And that's just a weird story about, I don't know if it's a Finnish thing. I don't know what happened, but it doesn't seem like anybody ever talked about the fact that we were Finnish.
Okay.
But they were 100% Finnish.
Wow.
And I was like, why? And it wasn't until I was in my 20s, I was like, why did nobody talk about this? There were little clues and stuff. Anyway, my British grandmother was such a foodie, and she made the entire spread. And, we had Christmas cookies, rum balls. I love rum balls.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She did pecan puffs, which I do to this day.
Oh.
My dad says they're better than hers. He's a beautiful liar. But actually, no, he did say, he's like, here's why. He's like, I figured it out. And it's because she would actually have to cut all the pecans, and so they'd be bigger pieces, where I actually put them through a nut grinder.
Oh.
And yeah, he's like, that's why yours are better. And I was like, oh, that's very sweet.
Nice.
So yes, the pecan puffs, and so I still do that. My best times was just, she wouldn't let me help, but she would put me in the chair, and I would just sit and watch her cook.
Oh, wow.
And I'd play with her Rolodex.
Oh.
Which I thought was really cool, because you could press A and it would open, and then you'd shut it, and you'd press F and it would open, and
Wow.
Frank would be there. It was just kind of cool. I was
Rolodex, that is a
intrigued.
throwback.
Yeah, intrigued.
Yeah.
And then she would always make German chocolate cake.
With the coconut and, okay, yum.
Yeah, that was a stolen recipe.
Ooh.
Oh, and then she had pecan pie. I mean, literally, I have all of her recipes.
Now, Yorkshire pudding is not actually like a dessert, right? Or
No,
is it?
Yeah, it's not. No.
So what is Yorkshire
Yorkshire pudding is basically, it's like a flour, egg kind of a concoction. So what the best way to do it, in my opinion, and well, the way my grandmother did it was, once the roast is done and is resting, you take the roast out, and then you use the meat,
drippings?
the drippings that are hot and oily, and you put them in the oven like hot, 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 and then you put that like flour, egg, water thing, and it puffs up.
Oh.
And it's very cool.
Okay.
Now, I like to do it in individual cups.
Okay.
So I would take the drippings and put them into like a muffin tin, and then, get it really, really hot, and then you put it in, and they go, and they make little cups, and then you just put, oh God, it's so good.
So it's like
So
a
good.
puff pastry or something, or
Yeah.
like a souffle or something?
Yeah, a lot like that, because they get really tall.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, my grandmother would do it over the whole pan. I like to have individuals.
Okay. Got
My
it.
way's harder, like hers is way easier,
Okay.
but I like the individuals. They're so cute, and they
Love it.
taste so good.
Yeah, like so many things. So much of Christmas is about food, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of cakes and desserts and all the yummy things that people make at Christmas time, we, in honor of Christmas being Jesus's birthday and is often celebrated as such in the evangelical church, we have a lamb cake made by dear Kristen. We're going to dig in finally.
Yes.
We've been making our podcast episodes with the lamb here, and so we're going to dig in.
We're
Happy
even gonna
Christmas.
We're
Happy
gonna even.
birthday, Jesus.
Happy birthday, Jesus. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas. So we want to know, what are your family's Christmas traditions? What are your favorite foods from the season? And do you primarily celebrate Christmas as Jesus' birth, or is it something else entirely for you? In my family now, we celebrate solstice, actually, a few days before Christmas.
I'm gonna do that this year. I think that feels fun. Something different.
So share, comment, tell us what your favorite traditions are, and what you are keeping, rethinking, and rejecting from your own family traditions about Christmas. We are very curious to see what your experiences are like.
Yes. And we will see you in the new year.